right, folks, let's settle down. We've got a full program today, so if you don't sit down, Gay is gonna clock you, I think. I don't know. Thank you, George. Sit. All right. Come on. Sit down. Sit. Stay. All right, ready? This is my favorite part. Well, that wasn't very good. No, that was terrible. More on the side? Oh, yeah. That's it. Good morning. All right. And welcome to the Vashon Island Unitarian Universalists. My name is Mary Demange. I use she, her pronouns, and I'll be your service leader today. If you're visiting, please participate as you feel comfortable. You're invited to stay and join us in conversation following the service, and we'll have coffee and treats. So won't that be fun? Our congregation is committed to individual freedom of belief, welcomes diversity, seeks to promote a sense of community, and fosters religion which enriches the spirit. We are a mostly lay-led community, strengthened and enriched by weaving together the volunteer contributions of members and friends. As we begin our service, please take a couple of breaths to become fully present. Please relax, bring your attention into this moment of communal reflection and sharing. We acknowledge that we're on the traditional homelands of the Swabash Coast Salish Native people. The Puyallup people have lived on and stewarded these lands since the beginning of time and continue to do so today. We recognize that this land acknowledgement is one small step towards true allyship, and we commit to uplifting our voices, experiences, and histories of the indigenous peoples of this land and beyond. At VIUU, we welcome all who enter our congregation. We listen for and reflect back each person's deepest dream for being alive. We warmly greet newcomers, seek to know each other, and find common ground. I'd like to invite Maya Seifers to come forward. You had to sit in the back. Yeah, I know it's going to be a long service, and here you are in the back. Come on up.
It's a bastardized Dutch name. It's Sijfers, but it was changed to SY, probably in Ellis Island or something like that. Who knows? Anyway. Ciphers, yeah. This morning's chalice lightning is called Our Bodies Hold the Spark of Life by Amy G.S.A. Brooks. We light this chalice to honor the spark of life that dwells within each body present, recognizing the fullness of our shapes and sizes, are countless as stars in an infinite universe. Like the chalice, may each spark burn, fierce as our resistance to oppression, bright as our hopes for a better tomorrow, strong as the love that holds all our bodies within the care of this beloved community.
Didn't realize I was up so quick. This is Desiderata. It's something that I've always read for many years, and I kind of try to run my life by it. But go placidly amidst the noise and haste, and remember that peace, what peace there may be in silence. As far as possible, without surrender, be on good terms with all persons. Speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others, even the dull and the ignorant. They too have their story. Avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are vexations to the spirit. If you compare yourself with others, you may become vain and bitter. For always there will be greater and lesser persons than yourself. Enjoy your achievements as well as your plans. Keep interested in your own career, however humble. It is a real possession in the changing fortunes of time. Exercise caution in your business affairs, for the world is full of trickery. But let this not blind you to what virtues there is here. Many persons strive for high ideals, and everywhere life is full of heroism. Be yourself, especially do not feign affection. Neither be cynical about love, for in the face of all aridity and disenchantment, it is as perennial as the grass. Take kindly the counsel of the years. Gracefully surrender the things of youth. Nurture strength of spirit to shield you in sudden misfortune, but do not distress yourself with dark images. Many fears are born of fatigue and loneliness. Beyond a wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here, and whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Therefore, be at peace with God. Whatever you conceive him to be, and whatever your labors and aspirations, in the noisy confusion of life, keep peace in your soul. With all this sham, drudgery, and broken dreams, it is still a beautiful world. Be cheerful. Strive to be happy. Max Ehrmann, 1927. Thank you.
Thanks, Matt. I had that just takes me back to college when I had that poster on my wall. And I think what I took from it was be bitter, be cynical, take your speech, and when we talk about God, it's him or her, or they, or them. Thank you. Okay. All right, please rise in body or spirit and join me in singing hymn 1014. And you don't have to rise. I'm going to tell you. I just wanted to tell you don't have to rise, but you can if you want. And it's in the Teal book.
This is the first one, right?
Yes. 1014.
Yeah, sure. Everyone,
Shh.
this. Here, let me tell you. I'm going to use the mic.
There you go. Go ahead.
Hello. This is a new song for us. It's absolutely beautiful. Kat is going to take most of it, and we can join in on the chorus, unless you feel brave and want to join in on everything. Standing on the Side of Love, 1014.
and love abide, and so every soul is
of our lives, hearts is our guide. We are standing on the side of love. Hands joined together, our hearts beat as one, emboldened by faith. We dare to proclaim we are standing on the side of love. I'm going to do the chorus again. We are standing on the side of love. Hands joined together, our hearts beat as one, emboldened by faith. We dare to proclaim we are standing on the side of love. Sometimes we build a barrier to keep love tightly bound, corrupted by fear, unwilling to hear, denying the beauty we found. We are standing on the side of love. Hands joined together, our hearts beat as one, emboldened by faith. We dare to proclaim we are standing on the side of love. A bright new day is dawning, when love will not divide. Reflections of grace in every embrace, fulfilling the vision divine. We are standing on the side of love. Hands joined together, our hearts beat as one, emboldened by faith. We dare to proclaim we are standing on the side of love. We are standing on the side of love. Judy? Judy Whitney is going to come up and tell us all about this, I believe.
I'm going to talk about why we have This I Believe services. And to quote our UUA website, not all UUs have the same beliefs or opinions. Our religious tradition does not expect or require consensus, but our shared worship forms a vessel for us to find meaning together. Our regular annual Vashon Island UU This I Believe services offer an opportunity for members to share how their individual religious and personal beliefs have changed during their life. We have This I Believe programs twice a year, once in the spring and once in the fall. And if you're a member and are interested in sharing your own journey of changing religious and personal beliefs, speak to the chair of our program committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Judy. So I am here to introduce Matt Burskin, and here are a couple of things you might not know about him. He is an Ohio native. He moved to Washington in 2005, and he and his husband Carl moved to Vashon in June of 2017. And he's happy to be a VIUU member. And when I first met or saw Matt here at VIUU, I thought, man, that guy is cheerful. And the other thing about him is that you'll know is he gets involved in everything, and I mean that in a good way. I mean he knows how to do a lot of stuff. He does it, and he does it with love. And it's just my honor to introduce you. And without further ado, a man who needs no introduction, Matt Burskin.
Now, in place of my talk, I'm just going to read the dictionary. Starting with A. No. Yeah, I know. I had to find it this morning. All right. This is a prop to say, if this was my life, these few pages are part of what this is. Sure. Thank you. All right. Can everybody hear me? Yes. Okay. Good morning. My name is Matt Burskin. Today I'll try to answer the question of what I believe and how my beliefs have changed over the years.
You want to share that with the whole?
Let's start at the very beginning. I was born on March 16th, 1964, and I'm nearly 62 years old now. When I was in my early teens, I thought that 40 was old age. And I thought if I lived to 40, everything after that was borrowed time. I actually started to do some crazy things after I was 40. I jumped off the 520 bridge, and interesting. Why? Because everything after that was just, cake. I could do whatever I wanted. And I winter camped alone in the Hoh River Forest National Park. No one around for miles and miles and miles. And I thought it might be fun to meet a Sasquatch, I also went on a winter camp up on Mount Olympia, and the wind was blowing. I was in a tent. Trees were falling around us, and I thought, I'm just going to get crushed tonight, But it didn't happen. I'm here. And I also did the crazy Solstice Cyclists and the World Naked Bike Ride rides around Seattle, which got us in a lot of trouble at times. But and I should have planned one for Vashon. That would have been a lot of fun. I think it's too late for me. I mean, really. My first memory actually was of the windswept pasture of tall grass next to my family's farm. I was just old enough to follow my brother and sister across the creek and up into this creek valley that was the miller's old sheep pasture, but it hadn't been for years, and this was the last part, sort of meadow that was left from the trees growing back. It was something, to my memory, it was something like you'd see in a movie, just incredibly picturesque. And if you picture three young hobbits on an adventure, that's what we were. I spent my childhood on a small farm in northern Ohio. We had a menagerie of animals, just anything that you could think of. 30-some sheep and mostly ewes, but one buck. All ewes but one buck, I should say. Chickens, ducks, geese, rabbits, turkeys, a cow, a pony, dogs, barn cats, and a goat. And all over the years, we had everything. I did have, and I tell my parents and had told my mother before she passed away, I did have the ideal childhood. I mean, we had a pond to swim in, a pasture and woods to run in. We had camping trips to Kelly's Island and days at Cedar Point, the amusement park near us. In winter, we had a hill that was a perfect sledding hill, and the pond would freeze over and we could go skating on the pond. It was like always incredible. The only thing was that there was no change in my life. I really had this really nice life. There was no move. There's no. So the years just sort of kind of all ran together, which was wonderful. But then again, it never gave me these mileposts to say what year it was actually. My dad, my family included my dad and mom, and my siblings Mike, Michelle, who's always known as Missy. Then I was next, and then Mark and Mitch. I was the middle child, what they always call the lost child, and because there were the older ones who were very important, and then the younger ones, including the baby of the family, which, always, I don't know why they say that, but anyway, I kind of felt like that in times. As far as a religious upbringing, I was brought up in the Catholic Church. We went every Sunday morning at the 8 o'clock Mass, and then I had CCD class, and I had to look this up. That's the Confraternity of Christian Doctrine, and it runs through kindergarten to 8th grade, and I did them all. And that was the foundation of my religious childhood. Father, Son, Holy Ghost, Jesus, Virgin Mary, Joseph the Carpenter, and praise be to God. That was the weekly thing. And as far as spirituality, I think I'm still looking for it. I think that religion was kind of part of my childhood, but not so much the discussion on spirituality and what that meant. So it's always something I guess I'm looking for, and probably in ways have found it. I grew up watching The Sound of Music, and another hint at religion, and it was my favorite movie for many years. I think I'd had entered a nunnery, if it were possible back then. I don't think it's possible now. I started to struggle during my teen years, and at that time I didn't feel like I fit in, because I was not like the other guys, the other boys, and they were all out trying to prove themselves and chopping wood and roughing it, and I'd rather have been in the house baking pies with Mom. But that really wasn't to be. That wasn't the way that boys acted. So I was out chopping wood and watching them chop wood. I think later in my early teens, my parents really didn't know what to do with me, because I was this kind of different from the other kids, the other boys, and so they kind of backed off a little bit, and I was a bit on my own through my teen years, kind of trying to had to kind of figure out things on my own, which was okay. I think I came out all right, but I have had depression throughout the years, and that probably was the start of it. And I'm in the best place probably in my life as I ever have been in regards to that. But I was kind of the lost child. No teacher noticed me. I was kind of invisible at that time during my high school years, and I was passed along from grade to grade like my other two brothers, and not necessarily great grades, but we made it through. They let us graduate. I started spending a lot of time when I was a teen listening to music on the radio or on the record player. Neil Diamond, Steve Miller Band, Queen, Three Dog Night, ABBA, and others. But those were ones that I remember right off my top of my head that I would listen to over and over again and wear out the records. Science fiction paperbacks became my escape from reality. I read hundreds of them during my teen years and probably even into my early 20s. And this guy, Bomber Bob, was a friend, and a friend that my parents constantly told me, he's not a good influence. You really, and during the years, I knew Bobby Baswell. He shoplifted in front of me. We actually burned down a meadow near his house. He encouraged me to break into an abandoned home, which caused a police hunt to find us. And we were in cornfields and ditches and things. And they did find us finally. A little bit of a, punishment for that at the time. But I always knew I was different. But I really didn't know what the word fag or gay meant until I was nearly 18. At that time, when I did figure it out, bells went off, and I figured out that I was gay. But being on a small farm, I didn't know how to connect, how to go about connecting with other gay people. and didn't believe I knew anybody else. My high school, seems like a larger percentage than normal turned out to be gay in the end. But I don't know. Farm life, I guess. I don't know. I kind of started living a dual life then. I was juggling my family, who I wasn't out to, and my friends Judy and Sandy, who were not good influences at all. They were what we always call potheads, and we would run around Lorraine, which was a pretty rough little city next to us, and go to the worst dive bars. I mean, it was just a rundown, kind of a rundown town, but these Judy and Sandy knew where to go. Yeah, Lorraine used to be was a steel town that had kind of was wrapping up with the steel industry, and it had a ship dry dock on the Lorraine River, and that was pretty much what supported this downtown. And it was the age of malls, so many businesses left downtown anyway for that. I did finally find that there was a bar in Lorraine that was a gay bar, and I don't know how I found out about it or who told me about it. And then I had to find it, which was not easy, get an address for it, because it was before the internet. You couldn't just really easily look it up. So when I decided to go. So I got dressed as best I could, which was much less nice than this, I suppose. I jumped into my Gran Torino, the Starsky and Hutch style, and headed to Lorraine one weekend night. When I got there, a cement block wall, a small lighted glass block window, and a steel door under the sign stating the Lambda Club. And that was what greeted me when I got there. I stepped into the door and found that there was another door in front of me with a two-way mirror, and so I was in a closet-sized room between two doors, and there was a sign that said I needed a membership card to get in, and but there was a buzzer, so I buzzed the second buzzer, and I must have passed whatever test there was because they let me in.
Fully in charge
And
of it.
I went up
All I need to do is
to
connect
the
it.
bar, and I got one drink. I was so nervous. This was a long, deep, old-style bar with the bar on the left, and at the very back there was a stage in pinks and sequins and everything you can imagine that a drag stage might be. And so I ordered one drink, I gulped it down, and I left. Didn't meet anybody, didn't talk to anybody. But eventually I did find another club and did go there, and I did meet people. I first met Travis, who was I actually was pretty lucky because I had met all pretty good people, and for a rough town, I never felt like I was threatened or anything like that. And then I met Larry, and then Autry, and Autry was my first kind of long time relationship. So the Lambda Club had closed because, as a sign from God, they tore it down the next week after I had visited, and which I didn't know at the time, but they were putting an overpass on the railroad track next door, and they needed the land. So when I met Autry, the Lambda Club had opened the 1504 Club down Broadway a little bit, and same situation. You go in the first door, and you have to get through the second door. But I hit it off real good with Autry, and we started dating, and I was introduced to the entertainment because Autry was part of this group of people who put on shows, like either monthly or weekly. I can't remember how often it was. And when they built the 1504 Club, they made sure that there was a changing room and a stage there as well. Autry and Monique, Donnie, Sue Perdue, and Myrna, Miss A, and others put on these shows. And some were serious sort of drag numbers, but it was a lot of comedy. And Autry even did a couple strip numbers because he's a pretty good looking guy. The lip sync included Thunderdome with a Tina Turner lookalike. Girls Just Want to Have Fun with a less convincing Cyndi Lauper impersonator. Donnie, not a small guy, did Don't Mess With My Tutu. And the original version said Toot Toot, but I'm not quite sure about that. But it was a very popular song at the time. This rendition of the song was lip synced by Donnie, a heavyset young guy with a blonde wig tied with a pink headband and in a pink ballet costume, including the necessary tutu. It was quite a popular act at the time. During the next 20 years, there were pride parades and the start of a club let a group of us, pretty much that group I just mentioned, started, called the Gold Club, the Gays of Lorraine District, and we took our banner to pride parades in Columbus and Cleveland, and was a pretty fun and sort of loud time, at the 1504 and beyond. I worked for a number, starting at florist, but starting with Reeser Florist in Elyria, Ohio. Then I worked for Ginger's in Vermillion, where my shop was eventually. I attended Hickson School of Floral Design. And later I worked for the Carlisle shop. And then I did open my own shop as far as, and kept that for a few years. Right about then, AIDS happened. And we all lost friends. A number of people, because it was right at the beginning and they had no cure and they didn't understand it. People would just go to the hospital and die, and it was very quick. And then later on, I was, the succession of getting some treatment and people being able to live longer and such. But it was a rough time for everybody, and I had just kind of come into the community, so I didn't know as many people, but I knew the people who were losing people at the time. Luckily, that group of people that I just mentioned, that didn't happen to them. That was nice. When I was working at the Carlisle shop in Oberlin, Ohio, I had taken Frank's apartment. He was the designer before I was the designer in the flower shop there, and it was very interesting. He painted all orange, and he built in a cedar closet. I mean, a full-size closet with cedar lining and such like that. Which that was Frank. He had the things that he wanted, and he did what he wanted with that space. During that time, Autry and I broke up for bizarre reasons or reasonable reasons maybe. I met college students from then, Robin Tung and Edward Boutois, at a gay meeting group for the college, and I have and still with friends with them, and was able to visit New York City because that's where Robin was from, and that kind of opened up my sort of worldview a little bit because I didn't have very much experience besides the farm, and let's see. I opened the Burskins Little Shop of Flowers, and I went back and moved in with my mom and dad where that was getting off the ground, and it was in Vermillion, Ohio, where I was, near where I was from. In 1989, when I was 29 years old, I sold the flower shop and left Ohio and started classes at Johnson Wales University in Providence, Rhode Island. I did finish a degree in business management, but before that, I spent a year in culinary, which has probably served me better than the business degree. Other than it was easier to get jobs when you had a degree. I lived in the dorms, and then I lived with a friend, Chris Falagera, and then I lived in a lot of other places because things just changed, and all of a sudden I was needing a new place. I did live in a drag queen's closet for a short time, and Jimmy, he did Marilyn Monroe, and would get a limo and a handsome guy to accompanying him, and he'd go to openings, and you could actually ask him to come to your opening if you wanted. But I was thrown whenever he did his makeup. I was tossed out of the apartment because I was not allowed. He had to have his time to do that. But I also lived up in southern Massachusetts with my boss from company New England Silks that I worked with while I was in Rhode Island. I worked full time at New England Silks. I kept a full schedule, so I was busy that whole time. And another place that I lived was with Jeremy Newman, and I moved in and was just sleeping on his futon basically because classes had just started and I needed a place to be. And 2 weeks he decided he didn't want a roommate anymore, so he tossed me out. And I moved in with Carl, and we have been together ever since, in 31 years this year. So, we graduated and we came back to Ohio. We went down to Columbus for a little bit looking for jobs, and then we came back up to Vermillion and bought a little house my father was renting out. My mom always thought that was the cutest little house, and it was. The floors were not flat, and things ran down from the front door to the back door. If you put a tennis ball or anything, it would roll to the back of the house. But it was good. It was fine. And during that time, we opened the Book Loft, which was a new bookstore in the front, a used bookstore, and then antique mall that we opened in the back just to use this huge space of this old bakery that we had rented. So now I kind of want to go into my other things about religion. I did visit Unitarian churches in Providence. The first Unitarian church, which was the Unitarian Universalist church there. It's a beautiful building. I encourage you to look it up. It's just incredibly beautiful, and it was always a Unitarian church, I believe. The Westminster Unitarian Church in East Greenwich had a totally different feeling, smaller group. I think the church was sort of in a woods, as I recall, beautiful setting. And after college, when we came back to Vermillion, we were close to Cleveland, so I visited the Universalist Church in Cleveland. Again, a totally different atmosphere. I would say if you walked in, you were in the Star Trek church, because it was all modern, all plain, and they had an insignia on the wall in the front that I could have been the insignia on a Star Trek. So. But each one was different. Each one was nice, but I only visited each one time. I also went to the Buddhist temple in Cleveland and did some meditation there and some chanting and some walking. And I did go there a few times, but it was so far from town or from where I lived that I couldn't do that often. Carl and I worked for Progressive Insurance out there, and the drive was incredibly long, and the winters were really horrible, and especially for Carl, who grew up in a subtropical, island in Taiwan. So that was it. We had to get out. So we decided we'd move to warmer climates, and we looked around to a lot of different places: Florida, Texas, Los Angeles at one point. And I decided I could live in and around Seattle because it had mountains and water and temperate, more temperate weather than Ohio. And so we did come here and came. And then in 2017, we did move to Vashon. We'd only been here on the island a couple times, maybe 10, 15 years prior, and but I remembered it, and we were looking for a house, and and we didn't find it on the mainland, so I said, well, let's look on Vashon. We were hooked, and we needed to be here, So my mom passed away in February of 2020, and that had a big impact on my life. I decided I couldn't keep working in a job that I really didn't like, so and that kind of mom passing kind of threw me into a depression that I actually went out on a disability for. But I think I had to quit that job shortly either way. It was kind of killing me. And then COVID happened right after my mom passed, and that was probably 2 or 3 years of isolation, and not moving too far ahead as far as knowing people here on the island and stuff. And then the second Trump election happened. The first one was depressing enough, but the second one happened, and I did the time out on the Four Corners in Vashon for 60 days, and promoting Kamala Harris and trying to make people understand the importance of our Constitution and how we could lose that. I think I maybe convinced one person to at least think about it. At the time of the election, I decided to move to Victoria, Canada, before the election even happened, because after the drama of the last election, I was pretty sure I just didn't want to be here at the time. And I really, if Trump was elected, I intended to immigrate to Canada and not come back. But it's not so easy to do. So after a few months, I realized that really wasn't going to happen at the time. So I did come back to Vashon, but while I was up there, I attended the Capital Unitarian Universalist Church, and that was the first one that I was actually able to go several times to and get to know the people. And after services, a number of them would go to breakfast every Sunday, which was just a way that I could further know them and they could get to know me, and I made some good friends there. So when I left and came back, I said, I'm going to look for a Unitarian Universalist church near me. I had no idea there was one here. And now that I found it, this was probably March of last year, I decided that yes, I'm going to become part of this community, and I jumped in with both feet. And so here I am. So kind of what I currently believe, which is I'm not sure. My brother was an atheist, and so I had a lot of information, I think, about that. My family was Catholic or Christian. I had that information. Plus, the internet had started, and there was a whole lot of information coming from the internet and stuff like that. But right now, I know that I'm a tiny speck in a vast universe, incomprehensibly vast universe. I believe that there may be nothing after death. I believe, as an atheist, might believe that that's it, and I'm kind of okay with that. I won't care. I won't be here to care. There won't be anything left. There will just be oblivion. So, I don't think that's going to hurt that much. But if there is an afterlife, I kind of believe it would be. How do I say that? A kind of a communal consciousness. Everybody would go, and I hope that the better part of humanity would win out in the end of that, and it would be a wonderful place to be with, but not necessarily all good, or and certainly hopefully not all evil, but loving and more of a wonderful place to be collectively. I do believe that this right now, this administration, threatens me and the rest of the LGBTQ plus community in losing rights and maybe even worse than that. I believe that it's going to be a tough fight for the better side of humanity, the humanitarian side, and the caring and loving and intelligent and belief in science and such. It's going to have a bit of a hard time because we're pacifists. Pacifists. Am I saying that wrong? Yeah, thank you. and we do have that loving, gentle, more, we don't believe in having guns, and holding guns, mostly. So I think it's going to be a bit of a hard fight against the money, the power, and just this group of hateful people, or hating people, I should say. Anyway, I hope we win out. I hope we do win out in the end. I do believe that life will survive on Earth. I'm not quite sure that humanity will do very well because we can't seem to get it under control, but life is resilient, and I think life will be here, even if we're not. It will probably take a different form. I don't know what evolution will rise up next to be the next, dominant species, and whether it will have, intelligence as we do. I do believe humanity is important because we can appreciate and understand and understand music and nature and things like that. And I don't believe, and no other animal, no other creature on the planet can do that. And so we are the witnesses to what is here. As far as my art and such go, I believe that the things that I do and the things that come out into public and people see do bring smiles to people's faces and laughter sometimes. And in these dark times, I think that's important. So I think that might be enough to say, maybe that's why I'm here. Maybe that might just have to be enough in these dark times. My art does help me. It gives me peace and calm because I'm focusing on one thing, and my brain, which is a bit ADHD, it calms down and focuses on one thing rather than jumping around to 1,000 things. When I'm doing my art, I'm very mentally engaged in it, and I want it to look good and finished when I'm done. There was something when I was a floral designer that said, "Hide your mechanics. Don't show the wires and zip ties and things." Also, in making things, I have this no fear mantra. It's like, you can't screw it up that much, and you just do it, and you kind of work on it till it works out. And nothing is cheap to make, I'll tell you. No matter how cheaply I try to make things and use things I have, poor Carl has to pay for the bills. Recycle everything before you toss it out. So there's a lot of stuff in the house. I make a huge mess, and eventually I clean it all up. But the house explodes and things on the floor, and just I don't know how Carl, who's a very neat person, can stand it. He lives in his bedroom, which I'm not allowed to go into. Some of the things that I always have is kind of a list, but I'll finish with that. Paints, glitter, fabric, fiberglass, needles, thread, hot glue, super glue, paper mache, scrap fabric, and lots of bedazzling. bamboo, copper pipe and wire, spray paint, zip ties, lots of zip ties, mirrors, lighting, color, texture, reuse, recycle, revamp, and return. Thank you.
Introduce it, Mary. Sorry. Well, we're still on Desiderata here, so let me get there. All right, hold. They don't need to hear me turning the pages. Let us hold a moment of contemplation and worship, an old English word that means to consider things of worth in a generous and abundant silence. Please rise in body or spirit and join me in singing hymn number 1051, We Are. This one may be hard for people to follow, so I think some song leaders should practice ahead of time. Why is this in the script? Look ahead at the words for the 4 pages. Alex will help lead us.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Mary. This song is a beautiful song written by Isai Bramwell, who is a member of Sweet Honey and the Rock, and she is also a UU. And we are going to sing the first sentence, 2 sentences, twice in the beginning, and then we'll go through. And then at the end, we'll sing the same 2 sentences twice. You might recognize it.
It was a good practice. Next time we'll get it right.
We will now pause the recording as we prepare our hearts for joys and concerns. as a caring community. There you go. There is a love holding me. There is a love holding all that I love. There is a love holding all. I rest in this love. There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding all. We rest in this love. We will now resume recording as we finish the service. As members and friends of the Vashon Island Unitarian Universalists, we commit to supporting our congregation. Financial resources help us to pay speakers and staff, support our social justice programs, and maintain our building. Please support VIUU with your pledges and offerings so that we may continue to be a vital community. Also, our community engages beyond our walls for peace, social and economic justice, freedom of belief, and protection of our planet and its inhabitants. Once a month, we contribute to the financial offering to a regional, national, or international organization that aligns with our values. This week's offering supports our beloved community. So as Pam and Earl pass around the baskets, please join in singing the following hymn. We give thanks, 1010 in the Teal hymnal. Really? We give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for the time we share with love and care. We give thanks for this precious day. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Gathered here, those far away, for the time we share with love and care. We give thanks for this precious day.
Our closing reading is We Give Thanks This Day. For the expanding grandeur of creation, worlds known and unknown, galaxies beyond galaxies, filling us with awe and challenging our imaginations, we give thanks this day. For this fragile planet Earth, its times and tides, its sunsets and seasons, we give thanks this day. For the joy of human life, its wonders and surprises, its hopes and achievements, we give thanks this day. For our human community, our common past and future hope, our oneness transcending all separation, our capacity to work for peace and justice in the middle of hostility and oppression, we give thanks this day. For high hopes and noble causes, for faith without fanaticism, for understanding of views not shared, we give thanks this day. For all who have labored and suffered for a fairer world, who have lived so that others might live in dignity and freedom, we give thanks this day. For human liberty and sacred rights, for opportunities to change and grow, to affirm and choose. We give thanks this day. We pray that we may live not by our fears, but by our hopes, not by our words, but by our deeds.
So I get to choose something to contribute every, when I'm here a lot, and I planned on something that I'm not going to do because it's just seemed right. This is one of mine. Matt, thank you for sharing all of that. That really was that was wonderful. It meant a lot. So anyway, this was my response years ago to hear somebody say offhand, well, it's just like I always say, love is the most dangerous word. And I said, love is the only word. And she said, well, no comment, honey. Saying very, very much with very few words, which is not my way. Young I was once, yes, so were you. Blood was hot, mistakes were made, yes, you made them too. The long fall, the leap of faith, the silent call, the open gate. Love the prize, love the bait, yes, you know it's true. And if I were broken, I would live the same. Done the work I've done. When I've done it well, it grew from passion, sharp and strong, or not at all. The effort spent, the taken time, the back bent, the finish line. Love the root and love the vine, or it will surely fall. And if I quit the race, it would be my shame. Time and time again I've heard love's the most dangerous word. But all I know comes to this: love's the only word there is. Gone, the time that's gone. If I have a single prayer, oh Lord, I hope I've wasted none. I have none to spare. The easy laugh, the crushing loss, the heavy hand, the gentle touch, all 1,000 times too much for this brief life to bear. And if I quit the race, it would be my shame. One, I am one, yes. So are you, so we will end as we've begun. Yes, you know it's true. And when it comes to looking back on what I've done with what I had, oh, if love could bridge the gap that lies between us two, and then my last breath might be your name. Time and time again I've heard love's the most dangerous word. But all I know comes to this: love's the only word there is. All I know comes to this: love.
Oh my gosh, that was just lovely. Thank you so much. says, hang on a second, where does it say that? Oh, right there. Excuse me. I turned the page, sorry. Ann Lewis will exchange, will do something.
I'll extinguish our chalice with these words by Deborah Hafner. As we enter another week of uncertainty in the world, let us remember that there is only one side, that of humanity and planet Earth. May we pray for peace. May we raise our voices with our elected officials and engage as we can in acts of resistance. And may we remember to take good care of ourselves, each other, and those we love. May we remember these words adapted from the Unity Prayer. The light of love surrounds us. Love enfolds us. The power of love protects us. Love watches over us. Wherever we are, love is.
Sorry, Ann. Okay. I don't know about you. I was just so moved by everything today. And I was, especially the song that Kat sang, and I just want to, I don't know, I'm just so full of love. Okay. All right. I'll say it out loud, love. Thank you.
Love is a 4-letter word.
It is, Mary, you're right. All right, here we go. Well, give this a shot. Now, please join me in listening and singing along with Kat Eggleston in the musical postlude, We Shall Overcome. It's 169 in the Gray Hymnal.
You better all sing along. That's what this song is all about.
169.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I shall
Speak when I don't think. I remember you.
we shall overcome someday.
Oh, one, sweetheart, and two things that paper
To
towels.
walk hand in hand. To walk hand in hand.
Okay.
To walk hand in hand someday. Oh,
So I'll be on the injured reserve list for. Well, if you guys look bigger. Yeah. See that look, like make their friendly, just kind of relaxing. And
we
growing.
shall all be free. We shall all be free. We shall all be free someday.
Okay, back on the chair, just in case you want to look at there and just keep it.
I do believe
I'll be under that.
we shall all be free
Is
someday.
Jake known?
One.
I think so because I think I saw Raven, but I didn't. I mean, she hasn't texted me.
We shall live in peace. We shall live in peace someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall live in peace someday. First verse over again. That's how it works. We shall overcome.
Yeah, we said the pictures didn't do anything to
We
disturb.
shall overcome. We
Yes.
shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart,
Richard.
I do believe we shall overcome
Been to me
someday.
every day since the surgery. But they're not people
That was fabulous, everyone.
need a band more, so.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Thank you to Matt Burskin, our speaker, Roxy, Judy, and Gay for coordinating.
Oh, now that I've got
Mary Domain for being our
please
service
let
leader.
me.
Kat Eggleston for being our musician. Yeah. Dennis Lambert for being our tech person today. And also Runa Catherine Spencer for tech, I guess. Maybe you're supposed to cross the ones out that aren't here. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Maya? Oh, it's your last name. I screwed it up. Oh, Cyphers. Sorry, Maya. Maya,
Thanks
thank
for
you, Maya.
sorry, open the door and it was like,
Beth
no
and Ann
thanks.
for being our
Yeah,
readers.
He wouldn't come out, Dan.
Team 2, hospitality volunteers. And did you know that when it's
That's
Team
okay.
2,
He's
it's the
gonna
second
spend
week,
tomorrow doing it
they
too.
had to explain that to me this morning.
Yes, because I've got my colonoscopy, so that's all
Seriously, I still think you should have names like,
Go on.
I don't know, Bluebirds, or, like, the Team 4 would be the fourth
They are
estate.
like already bonded to
5,
you.
the fifth
It's like-
dimension.
Okay, did you see the
Team 1, the best. Yeah, there you go. Think about that.
But it's showing that their
gosh.
capacity
Wow.
for gratitude.
I should have
and
mentioned them first.
Is totally,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah, thank you.
That is
So, okay, and so everybody here for being here, I really appreciate
And they
it.
really don't, they just.
Everybody here
are.
in Moose
That's-
Hall and online. And so please join us for
And then-
refreshments
but
following
then
our
once-
BIUU
Once they were
events
like,
and
oh, wait, we know you,
So,
then they quit
and
working,
recording.
so.
And why do you render? I mean, people need
Yes.
announcements. I don't know. End recording, don't end it. I don't care. So, if
Me too.
you have an announcement to
Gonna be
share related to
unavailable
BIUU activity,
until 10 tomorrow morning. So,
Or be on
I'm
lunch.
yeah,
not gonna,
well, I've got to drive to Seattle
push a
though tomorrow
buzzer
morning.
if it's
So
not a
that's why I have to
BIUU
start it
activity.
now.
But I encourage
I can get you
I
garbage.
encourage the congregation
So
to
that I can
express your.
put that out
Okay,
tomorrow
yeah,
or
okay.
tonight. I don't know.
Now,
But
go,
so-
come on.
Could
come
you
on up,
not
everybody.
even have your coffee this morning?
No, I could still have coffee.